Hi everyone, my name is Anastasia. I'm the head of communications at DEIP. For the last 2 weeks, we've been collecting all questions about our testnet from the community, and today, Alex Shkor, CEO of DEIP, will answer the top 8. Hi Alex, are you ready?
Hi, Anastasia. Hi, everyone. Yes, I'm ready, of course, as always.
Well, let's start. Here is the first question. How long will the testnet last? Do you already have contacts with creators for F-NFTs? Is a smartphone application planned? Will the DX stablecoin be used on other platforms, exchanges?
Wow, there's so many questions in just one. So first of all, testnet will last forever. We will not stop it after main network launch. We will continue testing new functionality, new features, new protocol updates first on the testnet, and then rolling it out to the main network. But if you're asking when the main network launch is, so it's coming. It's in the middle of April. The exact date will be announced soon. So about contact with creators for F-NFTs, yes, we already do have some portals who are building on top of this feature, and these things will be also announced after the main network launch, and we will be announcing portals one by one. And some of these portals will present their developments already on the in the conference in Paris on Paris Blockchain Week, like basically conferences. We have our stage there. Smartphone applications is planned. We already have it in our backlog, and basically we expect to release mobile app first in a way of mobile wallet, and then gradually upgrade functionality in this mobile app. About stable coins, yes, we expect it to be used on other platforms and exchanges, and at the very least, they will be bridged to near ecosystem and to near chain.
Great, move on. DAP is facilitating the shift from Web 2 to Web 3. How do you plan to get around the differences to show the benefits to both sides?
Okay, so I think that the main reason why people should shift from Web 2 to Web 3 is because in Web 3 they own their assets, their like content, their data, and even their like identity on the internet owned by them in Web 3, and this is like how we like basically showcase the benefits of Web 3, and all the like specific benefits comes from this one or another one. The next one is governance. So obviously, like platforms, Web 2 platforms are governed by shareholders of these platforms, by the boards, by basically top management of these platforms. And in Web 3, all this governance happens by the community itself. And this is also a huge advantage. So, for example, if you're a creator in music space in the IP network, you will be able to govern sub-network of music and participate actively deciding what is the transaction fees, what is a minimal security deposit for running a portal, and so on. So this is like very important network parameters can be decided by the community itself.
Okay, and next question. What do you think is DAP's biggest obstacle observed during the testnet?
Yeah, I think there were not many obstacles. We just realized that there are like a lot of things which needs to be kept in a way they were designed by Octopus team or like and aligned with Octopus team. So we realized we need to work even more with our partner to make sure that everything fits together well. And actually it was really helpful also experience, because it helped us also like establish even more communication channels between our development teams. And now we will be able to unroll new features and collaborate with Octopus even more with these communication channels established.
Great. What do you think is the key to DIP's success?
Yeah, I think the key of our success, key to achieve like really great success for all our team and for all our network, for all our like community, is really have first of all high engagement with the community. So like we need to grow constantly engagement with the community to uh, build more and more like processes and ways how community can participate in the development of the network. And secondly, and this is I think like one of the most important thing which we need our community help with, and we need our community to help us with this, is how to bring creators to the IP network. So the more creators we have in the IP network, the more assets they registered, the more total value of these assets, the better the better performance of GP network in our ecosystem and token core token as well. So basically, you can imagine that in future we might have like a percentage of industry tokenized, like music industry. When we reach, for example, 20% of all music industry tokenized, I think it will be already like a great success for the IP network. And if we just talk about music industry, but there are so many others.
And Alex, so what feature do you want to introduce the most?
Yeah, this is yeah, this is like a tricky one. So I think the feature I want to introduce the most in general in long term is collective intelligence protocol, to launch it on DP network, but it requires us to gather a lot of data before we can basically set up initial reputation and parameterize the model. And but if we consider another one, like which is like on a more on a short term possible to introduce in the network, is our decentralized bank for creators, which will allow creators to borrow stable coins using their work, their like asset as a collateral. So like musicians will be able to use the music they even haven't sold yet as a collateral to take money from the protocol and use it to produce even more beautiful, amazing work.
Beautiful, amazing. Okay, can you explain about how DAP tech is decentralized? And will it possible to quantify the level of decentralization and economic incentivization?
Yeah, it's quite an advanced question. Um, so the DIP network is decentralized in multiple ways. So first of all, we have so it's a delegated proof of stake mechanism, and also we have with validators coming from Octopus network. So we also decentralized in a way that network parameters are governed by the console, and there will be different stages of decentralization. So because like it's I really believe in gradual decentralization, so we should not achieve like aim to achieve 100% of decentralization by day one. We need to first, let's say, have like 20%, like maybe then, and grow it uh, uh, grow it also with the community engagement, with education of community, how they can engage into decision making within a network. And the first setup will be with a console. So there will be like one console which will be basically deciding on most of network parameters. And then there will be elections in this console, and there will be like different stages, tiers of the consoles. Like one is which will be focused mostly on some how to say expertise intent decisions, and other levels will be more like democratic, so which will have a veto power on like the more expertise intense console. So, and we will have like gradual decentralization. We will unroll this plan as well, actually. And about the measure, how to measure this, it's actually a really important thing. And we ourselves in DIP right now are looking to the way how we can do this. And like this is also the question already raised by Nicholas Shkor.
Okay, next. I understand the DAP protocol seeks to be the center of multichains, to connect various blockchains and projects through portals similar to Polkadot. So what makes them different? Do you see them as a competitor or will be working together to build the multi-chain future?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think that in future we really will have like just like one big multi-chain infrastructure, and we kind of doing two things simultaneously. Like one, we trying to build like ecosystem, basically virtual government for creators, and so they don't need to worry what this infrastructure is running on top of. And secondly, we are building this like multi-chain infrastructure on a go, because like it's not yet ready, and uh, and what is the advantage of having like portal on top of the IP network is you don't need to launch your chain in the beginning. You just can have like a portal which will be focused on tokenization of assets. And we want to bring not just developers who know how to build a chain. We want to bring like creators who have no clue about blockchain at all. They just want to like tap into this Web3 ecosystems. They want to bring their assets to Web3, and we want to make it as easy as possible for them. And on the next stage, when there are, let's say, there's multiple music portals already in the network, then they can unite into consoles. Then they can run elections of music, creator economy networks, music networks console. And then they can decide to run a sub network on top of our network, and then they can even decide to go into like their specific infrastructure and be interoperable with the regional chain. So it will be like multiple stages when they can come to this how to say fully owned infrastructure, and we'll be helping them on the way. But what we really focus on is how to get them to the first stage first, because like there's not yet massive adoptions in Web3, and we need to make it as easy as possible.
Sounds great. And the last question, how can I incorporate a portal into your network? How does it work? To have a portal, I imagine that you have to hold DAP token, right?
Yeah, that's right. So anyone will be able to launch a portal, and for this you need to have the IP token and make a security deposit. You will not spend it; you will just lock these tokens, and this will give a throughput of how many assets you can register per day, let's say. And you will have to select what industry or multiple industries you want to focus on. And obviously, you also will need to launch your user interface, and this is where Casimir can help, like this tool to build these portals easily. And we will be constantly unrolling more and more templates, so people will not need even to build it just from scratch. They will have a template, and they can start from it and build on top of it.
And that's it.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you
Thanks.
too.
Yeah. Thanks to our community for your active participation and interesting questions. So let me remind you, you can suggest your own topic by commenting in the thread below this video using hashtag AskDAP or on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord for the next questions with Alex by using the same hashtag AskDAP.
Thank you, Anastasia. Looking forward to the next video.